ready when you are ready.
I'm ready now.
Okay, start.
Hello everyone. I'm Rohan and today I will be speaking about the immune system, our body's super weapon against its enemies. Let us take a journey into this complex yet life-saving system. But actually, one fun fact, our immune system has cells that possess special weapons to kill every single pathogen to have existed in the history of humankind, all the way from the Black Death to smallpox to COVID. Now, what is this? What is the immune system? The immune system is an intricate harmony, you can say, of millions of different immune cells with a single goal in mind to defend the body from pathogens and invaders. Now, what are these pathogens? Well, they can be viruses, bacteria, protozoa, and they can also be parasites. Now, let's take an example to understand the immune system better. Suppose you're walking in the school corridor and someone sneezes. The air particles from the sneeze or the sneeze particles will enter your nose when you breathe, and they carry the deadly influenza virus, considering that the said person has a cold. Now, the influenza virus wastes no time in hijacks one of the lung cells or any cell that it comes in contact with. Then it starts a process where it basically takes over the cell and asks it to produce more genetic copies of the virus itself. After like a few 100 million copies have been produced, the cell completely, like the cell is killed completely, and the virus and the millions of viruses flood the immune system and the blood. Now, what is the immune system's first line of defense? It's known as the innate immune system. What are the first cells, you may ask? The first cell to like reach the scene of the battle will be the macrophage. How do these cells reach to the battlefield and stop these viruses? Well, the infected cells release emergency signals like cytokines and interference. Now, the macrophage is the first upon the scene. It's a deadly and voracious devourer of enemies. It basically goes about the process of phagocytosis. It engulfs and devours every single pathogen in its reach. Then comes the neutrophil, a crazy and dangerous soldier of the immune system. It basically does not have any regard for any civilian cells or its own life. Sometimes literally kills itself just to defend the body. It can literally split itself open, its DNA will engulf and trap and completely maim the enemy. The complement proteins come next. They are silent and small, but extremely deadly as they maim and eviscerate all the pathogens. Now comes the dendritic cell, which is a smart worker. What it basically does is it samples all the bacteria, devours them and samples them, and then it embarks on an arduous journey to the adaptive immune system. Now, what is this adaptive immune system? Well, most of the cells in the adaptive immune system reside in the lymph nodes, in the lymphatic system. Thus, the dendritic cell embarks on a long journey to this adaptive immune system and reaches these lymph nodes. And it meets the T cell, which is one of the most important cells of the immune system. They basically have two classes known as helper and killer T cells. What basically happens is the dendritic cell will rub against the T cells with with the samples that it has collected from the battlefield. If the T cell is able to connect to those samples, then the T cell becomes activated. Both the classes journey to the battlefield. The helper T cells coordinate defenses and rejuvenate the macrophages, neutrophils, and the complement proteins and whatever else is trying to kill the enemy. While the killer T cells, as is in their name, kill the infected cells and the pathogens which are causing such problems to the body. Then comes the mighty B cell. It possesses antibodies, which are the most potent weapons against pathogens. These B cells are so dangerous that they need a two-factor authentication, that is by both dendritic cells and T cells. In the same way that the dendritic cell activates the T cell, when the dendritic cell is able to connect to the B cell with the samples or the antigen from the battlefield, then the B cell basically journeys to another lymph node because it's half activated, and then it starts cloning itself. Like 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and so on. Then it basically saturates the lymph, which is the fluid flowing in the lymphatic system. And then it comes in contact with the T cells. Now, if the T cell and the B cell can connect, it basically means that the B cell is completely activated. Then it turns into something known as the plasma cell. And then it becomes a long-lived plasma cell. And everything basically starts producing hundreds of millions of antibodies. In fact, a B cell can produce up to 2,000 antibodies per second. These antibodies are the most, as I said, they're the most potent weapons against the pathogens, and thus they effectively eradicate the foes. Now, after the battle has passed, what do you think happens? What basically happens is there are a few cells which are remaining. And they said, and basically what they do is they keep the memory of the battlefield. And these cells are known as the memory cells. So what will happen is that they will so when the pathogen tries to attack again, these memory cells, namely memory helper T cells, memory killer T cells, and memory B cells, will immediately have the most effective weapons against enemy. Thus, not many resources need to be used up in order to fight the enemy. So, does anyone have any questions?